What's up YouTube, this is Ebelboy and this time I'd like to show you the Benchmade 300SN Axis Flipper. Mainly because it seems like the thing to do these days, as every major knife and gear channel has put out a review of this knife. So I thought it's now time for the minor knife and gear channels to jump on the bandwagon. All joking aside, this knife drew a lot of attention at last year's Blade Show, as it is Benchmade's first flipper design. And as I am a big fan of flipper knives and this one is somewhat still reasonably priced, I had to get one. Now let's continue with the specs. The closed length is 110 millimeters, the blade length is 80 millimeters, and the overall length is 190 millimeters. The blade thickness is 3.5 millimeters and the weight comes in at 136 grams. So the numbers already show this is a compact yet massively built folder. The handle scales are almost 6 millimeters thick each, which really gives you something to grab on. Let's do a quick size comparison with the Zero Tolerance 0550, which I see as a main competitor to the 300SN and the Spyderco Endura, which probably most of you are familiar with. As you can see, the Endura has quite the same length as the 300SN, but the cutting edge is significantly shorter, and of course the weight is less than half as much. The handle comes in a beautiful brown and tan layer G10 with a milled out pattern on the edges that reveals the different color layers. That's an extremely cool look. The G10 texture offers medium traction, but the milling improves it a bit. For its considerable thickness, the handle is quite short. I have small to medium sized hands and my pinky just fits the back part of the handle. However, the knife feels pretty comfortable in my hand. Back here we have a deep carry pocket clip with good strength that can be switched from left to right, but only for tip-up carry. There is no lanyard hole, by the way. The knife is an open pillar construction held together by size T6 Torx screws. Only the pivot screw needs a T10 Torx wrench. The steel liners are milled out a lot for weight reduction. The locking mechanism is Benchmade's patented Axis lock, which is a spring-loaded metal bar that slides over the blade's tang when the knife is opened. This is a very rugged and secure construction, and it's operable from both sides of the handle, which makes this knife fully ambidextrous. The Axis lock bar also retains the blade when the knife is closed. Although this knife is advertised as a flipper, which of course it is, it also has dual thumb studs as an alternative opening method. To be honest, I'm glad this feature was added, as the flipper requires quite some wrist action due to the fact that the Axis lock bar is grinding over the blade's tang during the opening process. So, although I like the flipper design a lot, I'm not quite convinced of this combination with an Axis lock. At least not without an opening assist. The blade comes in a drop point design with a light swedge and a flat grind that goes up to about 2/3 of the blade's height. It has a very light stonewash finish, and you can see the Benchmade logo and the Budge Ball logo, which is the designer of this knife, laser etched on the blade. The blade steel is 154 cm, a stainless steel commonly used by Benchmade. It is very hard and tough and offers good corrosion resistance, but it can be a bit challenging to sharpen. Fortunately, the 300SN came extremely sharp out of the box. So those were more or less the cold hard facts. Now comes the opinion. Would I recommend this knife? Hard to say. It very much depends on what you're planning to use this knife for. As an EDC blade, I personally wouldn't recommend it because it is too heavy and especially too thick. Although I do like the pocket clip a lot. Would it be a good knife to put in a bug out bag or in a car? Absolutely. I think it's an excellent choice for that. Those are some concepts where the weight and the bulky shape are not that much a factor. What about as a collectible knife? Without a doubt. That was my primary philosophy when I bought this knife in the first place. Let's be honest, the looks are outstanding. How often do you come across such a cool looking handle? And of course there's the great overall build quality Benchmade is known for. No sharp edges on the liners, the blade centering is, yep, perfect. Blade play, not if you tighten the pivot screw, but then the flipper doesn't work. As I said earlier, I'm not convinced of the flipper axis combination without assisted opening. Maybe that's going to be improved in Benchmade's future lineup. And that shall be it for today, folks. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos, and if you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to put out videos on a regular basis. Thanks again, and see you around.